Hello, now we're going to talk about how to install a radio console. When the parts arrive at your location, they should have what you see here. The speakers, the hardware for the speakers, the stereo, the hardware for the stereo, antenna wire, and the console itself. To install the speakers to the console, you want to use the speaker to locate the holes in your console and use the screws provided to fasten those to the console. Once those are installed, you can follow the owner's manual for your stereo on inserting it into the faceplate, and also keep in mind to remove these screws before installing. Once it's installed, you want to take the mount strap and mount it to the faceplate here, and then bend it around back on the back of the radio here and fasten it down. Later we'll discuss hooking up the wiring, but once you have everything installed on your console and it's ready to go on the machine, you want to make sure to disconnect the negative ground terminal on your battery before doing any wiring whatsoever. Now that you have your stereo system assembled, what we can do is move to putting it on the vehicle. We're working on a gas unit right now, so we've installed our 4 roll cage clamps that hold the stereo system to the machine. And what's going to go through those clamps is a 1/4 by 1 button head with a washer, and a washer and a nut on the other side of the clamp. And we'll just kind of demonstrate it here. Just want to set the radio console up to where you can work the clamps over the bolts. And then put your 1/4" washer and nut over the bolt. And then you'll just repeat this process for the front 2 clamps as well. Alright, now that we have our radio console installed, we're going to talk about where to locate the hole for the wiring harness to come through on the hood. As you can see, there's a grommet that goes around the roll cage tube. You want to slide that up out of your way and put some painter's tape or duct tape or anything down to keep that drill bit from walking. What you want to do is find the center of your roll cage tube and come over about 1/8 of an inch, and then back about 1/2 inch. And you'll see the location here after we drill it. But what you want to do is leave enough room for your grommet, and then also enough room if a customer wants to add a console right here. So what you want to do when you're drilling it is start with an 1/8 inch bit and stair step your way up to a 7/16 bit. The hole will end up being a 7/16 hole whenever you run your harness through. Okay, and last step here is we'll be either installing a radio console top or a top for the MTV. What we have here is the radio console top. It's going to come with 8 1/4 button heads. You will drill your own holes. The way we do it is 1 on the inside on each side, and then 2 in the middle, and then 2 on the outside of either side. This will not be used whenever you're installing a regular canopy top on the MTV machines. Okay, and when you're wiring for an electric machine, this is the 3 wires from the radio. You'll also be provided a external battery and a harness. It's very similar to the winch harness. And basically the way this harness works is you just plug it into where your converter plugs in. So the 3-prong will plug in right here, and the 2-prong will plug in right here. And basically you just have 4 wires coming off of it that will need to be wired to the battery. The smallest gauge wires will go hot and ground to your key on and ground for your stereo, and then your memory and the heavier gauge will go to the battery, and then the ground will go to the battery. So just like this. And then basically you want to zip tie the battery to the battery hold down here, And once everything's wired, before you fasten everything down, I would check the operation of the stereo and make sure you have memory and power like you're supposed to. And then you can just self-tap this relay down to the frame, just wherever you have room for. If you have a winch installed, you're going to be kind of starved for space, but you can just place it on one of the flat edges here or down here on the frame rail. Then zip tie it up and dress it up and you'll be finished.